Come on. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Happy 2021, y'all. Happy 2021. Today is January 7th, 2021. Hello. Thank y'all for joining me. What's going on, Rasta? You know it, man. Hey, I'm just getting comfortable with me. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm chasing these billions right now. So something got to get sat to the side. And I choose here. So I'm rocking the dreads real quick right now. Just getting cool with me. You know what I'm saying? The billionaire that I am. And this is how I grow. So it is what it is. But yo, listen, y'all. Couple of things to talk about. Make sure y'all go ahead and stay tuned. The next hour, I'm going to try to see if I can have one of my good friends, Anna Kiona, is on with me. We're going to have some Bible discussions because, I love the Lord. And I believe in a higher power that is encouraging us and influencing us for some very mighty things that's to come. But the things that's going to transpire in the times are going to be remarkable. So stay tuned with me for the next hour because I'm going to touch some Bible issues we're going to have discussion about. But right now, we're going to talk about the state of our democracy. All right, so make sure y'all go follow me on all social media, TOYAWITDATEA. You can find me anywhere, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, you name it. But in case you guys don't know, I need y'all to check out what's going on. So some of you guys are not going to be able to see my feed unless you're on Facebook, YouTube, or Periscope. I think that's what I'm streaming off of. I think I'm on Facebook right now, but also I need to try to stream to Instagram. But I think it's very important that we look at the state of America now. For those of you who haven't been watching the news, I don't know how you could escape it right now, but Washington, D.C. on yesterday had, what is this, treason? Is that what this is? Yesterday they had rioters. We actually had people in the streets of Washington, D.C. yesterday challenging our government and happening in doing so. Okay. The same thing that they say rioters did for George Floyd, which we've lost countless people. They keep saying that these riots started from the George Floyd incident. That is not what happened. George Floyd was just the straw that broke the camel's back. We indeed, and I say we because I'm with it, we indeed decide to take the route of civil disobedience because of the multiple people up until George Floyd. And George Floyd was just the straw that broke the camel's back. So this is what got people out in the streets. And now we're witnessing yet another threat on America. So I'm going to see if I can go ahead and screen share. We're going to go ahead and play this clip that I have on what happened yesterday in D.C. And we're going to listen to the mayor and see what she has to say about what happened in D.C.
Good morning. I'm Muriel Bowser. I'm the mayor of Washington, D.C. I'm here to provide an update, to provide the public with the district's posture and update on the acts of domestic terrorism and sedition that unfolded in the nation's capital yesterday. I'm joined by members of my team, including the Chief of Police, Robert Conti, and the Director of Homeland Security, Chris Rodriguez. We are also joined by the Secretary of the Army, Secretary Ryan McCarthy, who will be available to answer your questions as well. I want to begin by thanking DC residents for heeding our call to stay at home during the last 2 days. You did your part to keep our city safe. What we saw was an affront not only to our democracy, but also to our values, the values that make the District of Columbia a welcoming, diverse, and inclusive city. I also want to thank the men and women of the Metropolitan Police Department for responding to the United States Capitol Police's request yesterday for back up and quickly restoring order to the Capitol building. Their heroic acts yesterday demonstrate what true patriotism is. Chief Conti and I joined Chief in touring the city last night and had the opportunity to see our police at work. And so we want to thank them for everything that they do, not only in supporting the federal response, but in keeping our city safe as well. Overnight, as expected, the Congress affirmed President-elect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and it is official that certification Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will take the oath of office on January 20th to be the 46th president of the United States of America. We know and we all knew that the end result of this free and fair election would be the oaths that they take on January 20th. This should send a clear message to our nation and the world that despite actions of an unhinged president and those that believe the baseless conspiracies that have been peddled by him and by other elected officials, that the United States remains strong. Our democracy is prevailing, decency is prevailing, and hope and change are on the horizon. While it seems like a lifetime ago, it was just yesterday that we received the final election results out of the state of Georgia. And I want to congratulate Senator, what I'm going to call him, Reverend Senator Warnock and Senator-elect Ossoff. I also want to make a few priorities clear for the new Congress that are very important to the district. First, we must get statehood on the president's desk within the first 100 days of the 117th Congress. Congress must immediately transfer command of the District of Columbia National Guard from the President of the United States and put it squarely under the command and control of the Mayor of the District of Columbia. The Congress must create a nonpartisan commission to understand the catastrophic security failures that happened at the Capitol on January 6, 2021, both to hold people accountable and to ensure that it never happens again. We must also understand why the federal law enforcement response was much stronger at the protest over the summer than during yesterday's attack on Congress. I also call on the Joint Terrorism Task Force to investigate, arrest, and prosecute any individual who entered the Capitol, destroyed property, or incited acts of domestic terrorism observed yesterday. More immediately, we know that the current president must be held accountable for this unprecedented attack on our democracy. What happened yesterday is what he wanted to happen, and we must not underestimate the damage he can do to our nation and our democracy over the next 2 weeks. And it's not just the president who must be held accountable, so too must the domestic terrorists who stormed the Capitol and threatened members of Congress. What happened yesterday is textbook terrorism. And let me read you a definition. It's from the Federal Code of Regulations. It's defined as the unlawful use of force and violence against persons or property to intimidate or coerce a government, the civilian population, or any segment thereof in furtherance of political or social objectives. The FBI has already set up a website where Americans can report tips, and today MPD is releasing its own lookout information. Any tips that are reported to MPD will also be shared with the FBI. So I encourage Washingtonians who can provide information to do so by texting 50411, 50411, or by calling 202-727-9099. We are still in the midst of our response. We have aided the federal government in establishing the security of the United States Capitol. These incidents were contained to the United States Capitol and its grounds. We will review for ourselves what occurred yesterday to commend those who performed heroically and to learn what mistakes were made. With that, I want to ask Chief Conti to provide any update from the Metropolitan Police Department, followed by a situational update from Secretary McCarthy.
Thank you, Mayor Bowser, and good morning, everyone. As communities across the country are still processing the images of the violent mob that stormed the U.S. Capitol, I want to start this morning by thanking the members of the Metropolitan Police Department. When U.S. Capitol Police called for assistance, it was you that answered their call without hesitation. Your actions to restore democracy were nothing short of heroic
Acting chief.
and should be recognized. As MPD members, you serve the DC community each and every day, but yesterday evening, you answered the call to serve all Americans. Many of you here
Okay,
today
let me go
understand
ahead and
that the
pause.
district is unique in respect.
All right, you guys. So that little clip right there I just played is the clip of the mayor of DC, who is a woman of color, who, of course, we know that's another one of the reasons why we decided to go storm the Capitol building, because look at the leadership. But see, this is exactly what we need to acknowledge, ladies and gentlemen, exactly how deep the roots of racism go. How deep does it go to the point to where you all knew that this was going to happen? They say that there were no permits, but that's what we were instructed to do, to get permits to do that. So if you guys didn't have permits, then that means we automatically had to operate inside of a guideline in a realm that you guys didn't hold yourselves to, which was the first breaking of the law you guys should face. Then when you actually reach the steps of this courthouse, you commit to not just peaceful protesting, but you begin to destroy and dismantle the very building that you say gives you the right to do and be the Americans that you are. And because you no longer agree with that group of Americans, you deem it is your human what's the word? Your human authority to physically remove, dismantle, disturb a system that is not operating in your favor. Well. What do we have here? Okay, now, as we see it, the mayor of DC has already stated her piece. Anyone who has been caught, anyone that has knowledge of these people, which we know, we got cameras all over the place, so we should see a speedy process with the FBI, the CIA. I'm not going to say that they're the KKK. But because it's happened in Washington, because this is the place, the most powerful place in the city, if we don't know that this was a setup, we need to know it was a setup to test the strength of the United States. And it's going to come to find out that we're probably not as strong and as secure as we are with all these gaps that we're experiencing right here at the Capitol. Domestic terrorism, which it's been domestic terrorism since the 1600s. And since we want to talk about what people of color should do, I think people of color should press charges against the United States for not putting an end to domestic terrorism. So we see that the sister said that they shall be charged. We also know that the technology that we have, that our FBI, our CIA, our DEA, and every other office that dwells in the DC area, we should have no problem using our tracking systems to be able to find these individuals and bring them to justice with the same amount of energy that we use for the young children who are out here protesting against the vicious slaughter of Ahmaud Arbery, Rashard Brooks, George Floyd, Tamir Rice, Philando, Eric. There's tons of names. There's tons of names that we've decided to stand for. And now, because the fraud that took place in 2016, I told y'all this was a karmatic season. I said anything you put out is going to come right back. Trump put out fraud. Now he got it stolen by fraud. And listen, this is what's really making Trump mad, right? Listen. We don't care if they cheated. That's the problem. Yeah, but they did cheat. No, we're not going to say not one word. No, but you know they cheated. Yeah, not going to say anything. Don't even care. You cheated your way in here. Oh, what's good for the goose is good for the gander now. So now, Trump, you cannot deal with the stealing that you committed in the first place. You can't deal with it. Now what's happening to you. And the unfortunate part is, for those of us that were trying to be patriotic, there are some people who do share some of the values that you've had, but unfortunately, good don't always win. And since good don't always win, we don't care if we cheated or not. We doing anything and everything we got to do to get you out of there, just like you did any and everything you did to get in there. Karmatic season. Look at how things just come back around. Are y'all ready for some more? Are we ready for the next shift to what's about to happen? Look at DC right now. They're getting mad. So listen, a couple of things is going to happen. All right. Another reason why I think this is staged, you guys. Okay. Because it's 6 o'clock when the roosters crowed and it was time for them gloves to go on. All right. For them guys. Right. Oh, you think you ready to die for the Constitution? I see y'all got in the house at 6 o'clock. Y'all got on up out of there when them boys started strapping up. Y'all heard up 5:55. What time ago? You was a big bad wolf. You was breaking through doors because they let you. You was kicking down, climbing up walls and bringing things over. But at 5:55, what y'all were doing? Getting up out of there. Okay, that's another reason. I know it was staged. Come on, hi. How are you? You come to see who I'm talking to? Well, this is Facebook family, all right? And I'm talking about your future, okay? Yeah, okay. So, because we got to secure the future for you. So I'm talking to people about what happened in Washington, D.C. because we got to clear the way for you, okay? Okay, but if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to let Auntie know, and you'll be more than glad to say your piece, okay? Okay, good job. So anyway, y'all. Back to Washington, D.C. and the very democracy, the state of art democracy now. Look at it. Look at it. They are actually enforcing the law on the lawbreakers. Look at that. The same amount of energy that we use to, what do we do with the protesters that were outside quietly protesting? And I don't remember them. Hey, what are you doing? Go away, little person. I don't remember us tearing down walls of the Capitol building. I don't remember us going to destroy federal property. And not for nothing, I keep telling you guys, everybody want to make it seem like when we rioted, oh, we were doing this, that, and the third. Well, if we were busting the windows, why was the glass on the outside of the buildings instead of on the inside? If we were busting them from the outside because we were loitering. A lot of people not only got pandemic money, but they also got what? Insurance money. Zach went to the restroom. There you go. Insurance money on top of pandemic money. And if you look around now, a lot of businesses have closed their business. And what does that mean? That means whatever you do with that. I'm not even gonna touch that. Anyway, the state of our democracy, y'all, where we at? Where are we at with it? So, you know what? Let's go ahead. I'm going to stop screaming at you guys. I'm going to go ahead and get some of these clips of these Neanderthals, these savages. Y'all mad because that girl walking around here talking about savage and Watts. And you animals done went and rushed the Capitol building of our great United States that you patriotize so much. I guess long as they was allowing you to hang brown folks and not say nothing to you about it, it was Gucci. But now, that same law, see, we done growed up now and we doing something about it, that same law is now about to be turned against you. ladies and gentlemen, let's take another gander at what the riots looked like yesterday. Okay, now this is where, when you thieves, okay, when you started to say, when you get locked up for the commission of a murder, I love this part. Because see, you guys went into office and you wrote these laws and stuff and things because you thought they was just applied to black folks. When the truth of the matter is, we really do the same thing y'all do. Y'all just own all the government and everything, and y'all just press charges. But we do the same thing y'all do. And now we done put these laws into place, and these very laws you put in place to set us back. All right, well, if you ain't had nothing to do with the crime, if you had something to do with the crime and somebody get murdered in the commission of it, you get charged with it too. Didn't they put that law up in there? Calling themselves trying to be so tight on us because we such savages? And now our very own president of the United States is about to face those same charges. Oh, well, because you said something, you made a statement, and you decided to get your goons to go out there and infuse a riot. You too are now about to be held with the commission of a riot. Let's go ahead and look at the last time this happened. Let's look at this 1968 Washington, D.C. riots. This is something else here. So, of course, we know they had a riot in 1968. I'm going to go ahead and share that on the Facebook page. So that way you guys know what I'm doing. But not only that, no, I said I was going to go back to yesterday, right? Yes, I did. I said I was going to go back to yesterday. 4 people were reported dead, murdered, killed. 4 people didn't make it away live from the riot yesterday. Okay. Now, we haven't gotten word because when we were out there not rioting, protesting, and other people came and made it look like something that we weren't doing, we're not out there for that. We were thugs and savages, and oh my gosh, people were rolling up with their guns because, oh, we're just so terrible. But now we have this, now what? Now we're all stuck and glued in. But it's inevitable. It's inevitable. How long? 1968. Hey, little human, what are you doing in there? Get your butt over there and sit down. We get cookies in a minute. Let me finish, okay? These little humans think they run something right now. But nope, let's just go ahead and check this out. 4 hours ago, I think we already looked at this one, you guys. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's definitely a pleasure that this young lady, who is a sister of color, actually gets the opportunity to be the one to say, hey, Donald Trump did not and has not fulfilled his obligations as a president of integrity. And because he has not done so, he has allowed his goons to come and ravage the Capitol building. And with that being said, he can possibly face being charged with a crime. So 1968, so they say, it was a 4-day period of rioting right after civil rights activist Martin Luther King passed away. So now if you've watched the special on Netflix, which I can't remember what the story is, but you getting up here to sit down? No? Okay. Well, but the story actually looks into it and tells you that Martin Luther King and Malcolm X were starting to bridge the gap. They were likers of each other and not haters of each other. And they just did not agree on the same point of view when it came to violence. Martin Luther King did not think that violence was the answer. They were outnumbered and millions of people would get slaughtered. And Malcolm X, on the other hand, was like, well, we were slaughtered anyway, so we might as well go ahead and stand up and fight. And that was probably the gist of the issue between Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. So, you know, the spirit of the division between them, when you watch this documentary, is not to the extent that we say. However, when we understand that in the early 1960s, a lot of the Republicans were Black at that point in time, in the early 60s. And after the death of not only Martin Luther King, there was a rash of them. There was Martin Luther King, there was Malcolm X, there was JFK, there was Medgar Evers. There was a rash of assassinations in the. Yes. Okay. Can I finish? I gotta finish my show, baby. Go show me what you're talking about. But in the go show me. Go get one and bring it here and show me. In the 1960s, there was a rash of assassinations that when I interview some of my older adults, they say that in the 1960s. Okay, here I come. I need some water. You gonna bring me a water? Bring me a water, please. At any rate, here we go. In the 1960s, there were a rash of assassinations. The Republican Party, which was majority Black at the time. Okay, here I come. Here I come, boo. And at the time, the reason why they shifted over or started to shift over to the Democratic side was due to the transition that had happened with JFK and with Medgar Evers. I mean, all of that whole entire 8-year period in the 60s, revolving around these riots, was the time that Black people started to see the other side of the Democrats. And this is how we got there, not understanding the root of both sides were built on a system that did not have the favor of African Americans. And as we decide to join these groups due to our same like interests, it creates a division because we just don't all agree in the same thing. So now because you're a Democrat, I'm a Republican, there's a division because we can't agree to disagree on a civil level, which is where we are now. Most Black people are predominantly Democrats, and it stems from that era of the 1960s where we shunned away from the Republicans because of the stories that swirled around about the assassinations that happened at that point. And here we are now to where I'm sorry? What is it? What? What? What do you want some of? Well, you gotta wait, sweetheart. I'm almost done, okay? I got 15 minutes. I might wrap it up in 3. So, we're gonna get back at this again. We got to the Democratic side from that little stint of time in the early 1960s. Now, here we are in 2020, more than 40, 50 years later. We're still running Democrats, and we still believe that the Democrats have not changed, okay? So we really need to take a second and acknowledge where we are right now, okay, in America. We need to understand that we have to learn how to have our differences without being violent. But we also have to learn, America, if you're going to stand back and allow people, a certain group of people, to do what they please, get away with what they please, and these things are unjust, you can just about believe that those same law-abiding people have the human right to say, forget you and forget your law, and do everything we need to do at any means necessary. And this is where we become allies, and we become people that create peace agreements within each other, because the United States of America just cannot seem to hold themselves accountable for their actions. And because they refuse to do so, financially. This is why most people of color, Native Americans, and African Americans who have been brought here need to seek reparations. What do you want to call it? What do you call it? Restitution to the crimes that America has allowed to happen to people of color under their Constitution. Period, point blank. So clearly, hey, excuse me, y'all. But at any rate, I'm not gonna talk to y'all. Hey, if I get up, y'all already know it's going down now. This the second time. You get one more time. Next time I talk to you, I'm coming in there swinging. And I'm finna get off and put the Jesus cartoon on because it needs some Jesus right now. Now get your butt over there and sit down before I come spank it. Sorry, y'all. So, clearly I'm needed in the next room. Listen, go ahead. Activate your voice. Start making it to these community meetings. I will be joining the meeting next week next Tuesday in Griffin, Georgia. It seems like we need to start moving forward, ladies and gentlemen. Let's stop pulling in separate directions. Let's go ahead and be united. I need your help. Join me. Holla at your girl, Toya with the T, TOYAWITDATEA on all social media. Go ahead and check me out on my Facebook. There's plenty of pages you guys can go follow. Anything you like, you can get into. You need help with your taxes, we're doing that. We're doing credit programs, free information. They're going to kill me for giving you this information. We're also going to be discussing business credit with Daryl Hogan. We're going to be discussing absolutely our political views. I am still looking for a political analyst to be able to discuss this with me. I have a couple of people in mind. We just got to make sure we're able to give you that consistency. We're going to go ahead and try to aim for our Bible discussion today at 6. Hopefully I can get my dear sweet friend on the line so we can go ahead and do that. You name it, we're there. The T on health, the T on politics, the T on God. I got the T on everything, y'all. So you got to make sure y'all go ahead and follow me. Go ahead to all of my pages. If you guys are going to be in the Lithonia area this weekend, go ahead and check out my page. Come holler at it. If y'all want to see artists, come check them out. If y'all got something y'all want to talk about, holler at your girl. And not for nothing, make sure you like, share, and subscribe all of my pages. Check me out at my tax company, AllureTaxStop.com. That's ALLURE, taxstop.com. I've been doing taxes for so long, I finally decided to open up my own online tax store. So go ahead and check me out, like and share it. Look for my advertisings. I'll be sharing that shortly. And whatever it is, if you need help with it, let me know. I got it. And y'all make sure y'all stay tuned, man. So I love y'all so much. Thank y'all for joining me. What's up with Duran? What's up, Jarrell? What's up, Jaquita? What's up, Terrell? I know y'all probably gone by now. But thank y'all so much, man. If there's something y'all need to know, y'all want to talk about, y'all need me to get the tea on, holler at your girl. I'm about to go ahead and check on my babies. I'll see y'all in 30 minutes. Love y'all. Bye.